Welcome, traveler. Tonight we set sail not across oceans, but across the infinite ocean of the cosmos. Tonight's journey will take you beyond Earth, beyond the familiar pull of gravity, into the silent reaches of our solar system. I love knowing where you're joining from, because even though we are scattered across the world, at this moment we're all lying under the same sky, beginning the same journey together. Tension past the planets. You don't have to do anything. Just relax, breathe deeply, and allow yourself to be carried across the solar system as the stars watch quietly over you. I invite you to not just look at the sky, but to step into it to become part of it. This is not an ordinary night. Tonight, you will leave behind the weight of your body, the thoughts of your day, the little worries that circle your mind. Tonight, you will glide silently through the solar system. You will pass Mars glowing red against the darkness, Saturn with its luminous rings, Neptune shimmering in distant blue. Each planet has a story, each world a mystery. And you are here to witness it all, not as an outsider, but as a voyager of the stars. So, close your eyes if you wish. Let your body become light as though gravity itself has released you. You are safe, you are held. You are a traveler of the stars. Tonight, together, we begin a silent voyage past the planets, through the vast, timeless wonder of the solar system. You awaken in the quiet of the void. No sounds surround you, only the gentle rhythm of your own breath. Each inhalation stretches slowly, filling your awareness, each exhale drifting away like starlight fading into the black. Above you, stars shimmer faintly, scattered across an infinite canvas, diamonds scattered by a hand unseen, untouched, eternal. The darkness is not empty. It is full, vast, protective, a cradle for your consciousness. Slowly, you begin to drift, weightless, timeless, unbound. Feel the subtle pull of gravity fading, the sensation of being held by the universe itself. Far away, distant suns blink softly, their warmth a whisper you can feel, not touch. You notice a faint glow on the horizon. A nebula, swirling with delicate pinks and blues, a cosmic watercolor, stretching endlessly, as if someone painted the sky with slow, deliberate strokes, and then let it drift for eternity. Drift closer, but do not reach. Simply observe. Its gentle luminescence brushes your skin, as if light itself knows your presence. A comet passes in silence, trailing icy particles like tiny sparks across the sky. Each spark drifts for eternity, a reminder of time's slow dance in the cosmos. You float past, unhurried, untethered, and utterly serene. Notice how even the darkest space carries color, subtle shades of black, deep violet, and soft gray. Each hue seems to hum softly, a lullaby for the wandering mind. A distant star pulses, steady, calm, like a heartbeat resonating with your own. Slowly, you extend your awareness, reaching toward it, yet never touching. Time here is not measured in hours or minutes, only in drifting, floating being. Imagine the sensation of your body dissolving, melting into the void, becoming light, becoming nothing, becoming everything. The universe folds around you, protective, infinite, unending. You feel small, yet safe, fragile, yet part of something immense. Drift now. Through the space between stars, a silent corridor lined with cosmic dust, shimmering faintly, particles so tiny they could be forgotten, yet each holds a story billions of years old. Notice a distant planet, tiny in the vastness, a quiet presence waiting. You drift past it slowly, not to explore, not to disturb, simply to witness its existence in this grand, eternal expanse. A gentle meteor shower cascades far off, each streaking light a delicate song, fading before it reaches you, a reminder that beauty exists even in movement, even in endings. Your senses soften further, the awareness of self becomes lighter, freer, more fluid. A faint, soft warmth brushes against your awareness, a remnant of a distant sun, stretching across the cosmic sea to greet you. Time continues to dissolve, space bends gently around your consciousness, a calm, endless river of light, shadow, and silence. Drift, drift, and let yourself be cradled by the universe. Feel the pulse of the stars, a soft, rhythmic beat beneath the quiet. The hum of the cosmos rises softly, a subtle music that your mind can almost hear, a melody older than you, older than the sun, older than thought itself. A shooting star arcs across the emptiness, slow, deliberate, and you follow its path with your eyes, or perhaps with something deeper than seeing, a sense of connection, fragile and profound. Tiny asteroids float past, tumbling slowly in their endless orbit. Each one is unique, each one a silent witness to the birth and death of stars. You notice a distant gas cloud, soft, pillowy, drifting like smoke through the void, pinks, blues, and pale golds blending into one another, impossible and delicate. It seems alive in its own way, breathing, pulsing, existing without sound or thought, yet entirely real. As you drift, your mind begins to quiet, all worries, all urgency, all time-bound concerns slip away, leaving only presence. Imagine your body dissolving. Further, your awareness stretching outward, connecting with the dust, the stars, the cold light of distant suns, merging gently with the vast, slow, deliberate rhythm of the universe. A far-off galaxy glimmers softly, a spiral of light, turning endlessly, each star a soft heartbeat, each heartbeat a whisper of infinity. Drift closer just enough to sense its pattern, its movement, yet never approaching fully, always observing, always serene. Your breathing is slow, deep, perfectly aligned with the quiet pulse of the cosmos, in and out. In and out, each exhale dissolves further into the void, leaving only calm, leaving only drift, leaving only lightness. A gentle, icy blue comet glides past, trailing stardust, and for a moment it seems as though you could reach out and touch its frozen tail. But you simply let it pass, savoring the slow, eternal motion, the effortless beauty of motion in stillness. Far below, a planet begins to glow softly, small, distant, yet undeniably there, waiting to greet your silent arrival. Its surface shimmers faintly, pale light reflecting cosmic winds, mountains of shadow, plains of silver, oceans of lightless depth. You drift closer, yet still not touching, observing, feeling the pull of curiosity without urgency, a calm wonder that stretches across your entire being. The silence of the void is not emptiness. It is invitation to move deeper, to float further, to surrender fully to the cosmos, to notice every shimmer, every pulse, every breath of light that drifts past. You are drifting endlessly, safely, silently, and with each breath, each gentle moment, you feel more lighter, freer, more aligned with the slow, eternal heartbeat of the universe. Breathe in this silence, let it fill every corner of your awareness. Breathe out tension, fear, thought, time, and let it dissolve into the infinite black. You are cradled by the cosmos, held in its arms, gently, silently, and as you drift, you begin to notice the faint outline of your first destination, a planet close to the sun, a silent sentinel waiting for your arrival. You drift slowly forward, leaving the soft glow of distant stars behind, moving deeper into the heart of the solar system. Before you, a small, silent world awaits, Mercury. The closest planet to the sun, it glows faintly, bathed in a pale, golden light. Its surface is ancient, scarred by time, craters and ridges marking billions of years of cosmic history. As you approach, you notice the extremes that define it. During the day, the sun's light blazes across its barren plains, scorching and relentless, yet at night, the temperature drops sharply, a biting cold that stretches across silent valleys and jagged ridges. You glide over its surface, hovering just above, weightless, observing the contrast in stillness. The craters are silent witnesses, circular scars left by impacts long forgotten, each telling a story older than your imagination. Notice one large crater, its walls steep, shadows stretching like quiet rivers across pale rock. Inside, the light plays softly, golden edges, fading into cold, gray shadows. Drift past, slowly, savoring every texture, every fold, every subtle detail of this ancient world. Mercury is a planet of simplicity and quiet, yet its presence is powerful. It reminds you that survival is possible in extremes, that beauty can exist without comfort, that silence can be profound. Imagine the warmth of the sun, not harsh, but a distant embrace, brushing your awareness like a soft caress, filling the void around Mercury with faint golden light. Slowly drift closer to the planet's equator, a region where ancient plains stretch endlessly. These smooth plains, interspersed with craters, are gentle to the eye, a vast canvas of pale yellows and muted golds, inviting you to float above, unhurried, weightless. A thin, almost invisible atmosphere clings faintly to Mercury, enough to scatter light, enough to remind you that even in seeming emptiness, something lingers, subtle, delicate, persistent. Your attention is drawn to scarps, long. Cliffs carved by the planet's cooling and contracting crust, folds and ridges that rise gently, casting soft shadows as if reaching for the sun itself. Drift along one, tracing the line with your gaze. Feel its ancient patience, the way it has existed for eons without complaint, silently holding itself against the void. Above, the sun blazes brighter, yet here you are safe, observing, drifting, floating in perfect calm, the heat felt only as a whisper on your awareness. You notice a cluster of smaller craters, each unique, some shallow, some deep like delicate impressions left by cosmic fingers. Focus on one, a small circular basin, its interior smooth, almost polished, surrounded by jagged ridges that capture light like tiny mirrors. As you drift past, imagine running your hand along its surface, not touching, but sensing, feeling the weight of history, the pull of time, the silent heartbeat of Mercury itself. Your body floats slowly over highlands, rugged, sharp, stark. Contrast to the plains below, shadowed valleys curling like ribbons across the landscape. From above, you notice the curvature of the planet, small, intimate, a gentle orb suspended in the golden light of the sun. A faint shimmer of ice hides in some craters near the poles, preserved over billions of years. Untouched, a reminder that even in extremes, life-giving elements can exist. Drift closer, allow your awareness to brush against the ice, cold, bright, silent, a fragile whisper in Mercury. Mercury's stark embrace. Time stretches here, minutes blend into hours, or perhaps time does not exist at all, only drift, only observation, only being. The sun reflects softly off the surface, gilding craters and plains with pale warmth, a soft, comforting light that does not burn, only illuminates, only invites. Slowly drift over the Caloris Basin, one of the largest impact craters in the solar system, a vast expanse of rough plains and jagged ridges, created long ago by a massive collision. The scale is overwhelming, yet there is calm here, the grandeur not frightening, only humbling, a reminder of the slow, deliberate dance of planets and stars, of the quiet majesty of time itself. As you move, notice the thin horizon, the curvature sharp, precise, the line between light and shadow delicate and serene, a place where the sun's glow kisses the planet's edge. Above, distant stars glimmer softly, small pinpricks of light, unchanging, eternal, guiding your drift through. The vast emptiness beyond Mercury. You sense the subtle motion of the planet, its slow rotation, a whispering rhythm, turning patiently in the sun's embrace. 59 Earth days for one full spin, slow, deliberate, meditative. Feel yourself moving in harmony with this rhythm, drifting gently along its orbit, weightless, free, untethered. Notice the subtle differences in light across the surface, shadows stretching long across craters, cliffs, and plains, each one shifting slowly as Mercury. Turns slow, almost imperceptible, yet profoundly beautiful. A faint glimmer of dust drifts past, tiny particles suspended in space, remnants of ancient collisions, drifting endlessly, unnoticed, yet part of the universe's quiet story. You float through this environment, serene calm, perfectly aligned with the slow heartbeat of Mercury, its silence filling your awareness, its age teaching patience, its beauty invoking wonder. The sun grows warmer as you drift closer to the inner edge, yet there is no urgency, only presence, only gentle observation, only quiet drift. You notice a distant planet beginning to appear beyond Mercury, pale, cloud-covered. Venus awaits. But before moving on, linger here, savor the silence, the stillness, the ancient whispers of this small, golden sentinel. Feel the texture of the planet beneath your awareness, the heat, the cold, the ridges, the craters, the ice at the poles, all blending into a calm, infinite tapestry. Drift a little longer, inhale. The essence of a world untouched by life, yet full of cosmic poetry. Let it fill your mind, let it slow your heart. Let it guide your thoughts into stillness. And then, when you are ready, allow your consciousness to float gently away, leaving Mercury behind, carrying with you the quiet wisdom of the sun's closest companion, the silent sentinel of the solar system. You drift onward toward Venus, the cloud-covered enigma, but Mercury remains with you, a calm presence in the background of your mind, a whisper of cosmic patience, a gentle reminder that even in extremes, harmony exists. You move slowly onward, leaving the pale, golden surface of Mercury behind. Ahead, Venus appears, a luminous, cloud-covered world, wrapped in layers of mist and mystery. Its thick atmosphere glows softly, reflecting the sun in shades of gold, amber, and pale orange, a planet shrouded, yet brilliantly alive with light. Hovering closer, you notice the clouds swirl endlessly, curling like slow smoke from some unseen, ancient fire. The movement is hypnotic, patterns intertwining, layers folding over one another, golden ribbons twisting across the sky, soft, mesmerizing, eternal. Beneath this veil, the planet's surface remains hidden, a secret kept for millennia, waiting silently, patiently inviting your imagination to fill in the unseen. Imagine moving just above the clouds, gliding over soft, luminous waves of atmosphere, each layer warmer than the last, yet gentle, soothing, a whisper of energy rather than heat. The sun's light filters through these clouds, scattering softly, painting shadows, glimmers, and faint highlights, an endless dance of color and motion. A faint glow outlines the planet's edge, a horizon blurred, mysterious, as if Venus itself is breathing slowly, exhaling light across the cosmos. You feel yourself floating alongside this magnificent world, weightless, suspended, part of its quiet rhythm, aligned with its patient rotation, completing one slow turn in 243 Earth days. Notice the subtle undertones of color, pale gold, soft apricot, hints of rose, swirling, blending, alive, impossible to look away from and yet so calm. A gentle breeze seems to pass through the clouds, only imagined, yet felt, brushing softly against your awareness, carrying whispers of sulfuric mists, acid rain, and invisible energies, powerful, serene, untouchable. Your attention is drawn to a break in the clouds, a fleeting glimpse of the surface below, rugged highlands, vast plains, and ancient volcanic regions stretching endlessly, hidden in shadow, protected by the thick atmosphere. Imagine yourself floating down toward one of these regions, observing without touching, seeing volcanoes rise like silent sentinels, lava flows frozen in time, scars of immense energy preserved for eternity. Above you, the clouds continue to swirl, spiraling gracefully, moving in patterns both chaotic and perfect, a gentle reminder that even in apparent turmoil, there is harmony. A distant reflection of the sun glints off the cloud tops, golden and white like scattered light dancing across rippling water, soft, infinite, inviting you to linger a moment longer, to simply watch, to feel. Notice the faint hum of movement within the atmosphere, slow, deliberate, almost musical, the gentle breathing of a planet alive, yet silent, hidden beneath its thick veil. You glide across a vast expanse of clouds, their texture soft, almost tangible, a flowing ocean suspended in space, rippling, folding, and bending in endless motion. A streak of pale light passes across the sky, perhaps a solar reflection, perhaps a distant comet, small, brilliant, yet perfectly calm. You follow it for a moment, letting it guide your mind, focusing on its gentle path, letting your thoughts untangle, floating in harmony with its motion. Beneath the cloud cover, hints of mountains rise faintly, their peaks piercing thin layers of mist, ancient, silent, majestic, untouched by human eyes, yet entirely real. The planet's secrets feel close, almost reachable, yet remain veiled. A gentle tension that invites curiosity without urgency. Notice the play of light across the cloud tops, soft shadows curling like smoke, bright highlights bending around invisible peaks. Subtle, endless patterns that shift as you watch, hypnotic, eternal. Allow your awareness to move alongside the slow rotation of the planet, following its rhythm, a turn completed once every 243 Earth days. Slow, deliberate, meditative, a cosmic heartbeat that resonates softly within your mind. A distant star glimmers softly beyond Venus, pale blue-white steady, patient, a companion to this luminous orb, and to you as you move past. You pass over stormy patches, darker clouds swirling in gentle turmoil, soft, rolling, majestic, reminding you that power can exist quietly, without alarm, a calm display of energy in motion. Your senses expand, almost tasting the sulfuric scent in your imagination, almost feeling the weight of the thick atmosphere, almost sensing the life of a planet. Hidden beneath a veil, all without leaving the safety of your floating presence. Notice how light refracts across clouds, thin beams illuminating swirling patterns, soft gold spilling into muted orange, a slow, endless painting in motion, impossible to fully grasp, yet beautiful to observe. Above you, subtle gaps in the cloud layers reveal faint glimpses of distant stars, pinpricks of light, constant, guiding reminders of the vastness that surrounds you. You pause, hovering, absorbing the quiet. Majesty feeling the subtle pulse of Venus's slow rotation, the soft energy of heat, cloud, and motion flowing around you. Through you, a serene, invisible current. Your mind drifts along with the atmosphere, following eddies of movement, turning with swirls of light and shadow, immersed in calm, aligned with the subtle rhythms of a planet alive yet hidden. Time stretches, minutes blend into hours. The sun moves slightly, shadows shift, patterns twist, and you move gently alongside, entirely. Present, entirely relaxed, entirely aware. Notice a distant volcano beneath the clouds, faintly visible, a silent mountain of rock, its peak just catching the soft glow of the sun, a monument of patience, endurance, and hidden energy. You float above it, observing, sensing, allowing the planet's quiet energy to fill your awareness, blending with your own calm, your own rhythm, your own breath. A faint shimmer of light passes across the swirling clouds, the reflection of the sun, scattered and fractured, tiny glimmers like stardust scattered across amber seas, mesmerizing, endless, hypnotic. Feel yourself moving slowly away from the surface, leaving Venus beneath, the clouds still swirling, the planet alive with gentle, hidden energy. A mystery preserved, silent, magnificent. As you move onward toward your next destination, Earth, your familiar home, carry with you the memory of Venus. The soft, luminous clouds, the quiet, pulsing energy, the secret life beneath the mist, and the calm patience of a planet wrapped in mystery. Hover a moment longer, absorbing the glow, the swirling patterns, the subtle whispers of light and shadow, the hypnotic pulse of hidden power, letting it fill your mind and heart with quiet, endless wonder. And then, when you are ready, gently allow your awareness to rise, leaving Venus behind, carrying its calm, enigmatic presence with you, floating forward toward the pale blue marble you know, your home, Earth. You leave the luminous clouds of Venus behind, floating gently through the vast emptiness of space. Ahead, a small, fragile blue marble emerges from the darkness, your home, Earth. It glows softly, bathed in pale sunlight, suspended in the void, a delicate balance of water, land, and atmosphere, alive, serene, familiar. You hover above it, weightless, untethered, observing from a distance that allows you to see the whole oceans shimmering like glass, continents stretching in muted greens and browns, clouds drifting lazily across the surface. Notice the curvature of the planet, perfect, round, serene, a tiny oasis of life suspended in a vast, silent cosmos. The sun casts its light across the oceans, and waves sparkle like scattered diamonds. Endless, rhythmic, hypnotic, a reflection of the vastness surrounding you. Above the continents, clouds drift slowly, white and soft, shadows stretching across plains, mountains, and forests, moving with a calm, natural rhythm. Hover over a mountain range, feel its majesty, jagged peaks piercing the thin atmosphere, rising like silent sentinels, ancient, steady, unyielding, holding the memory of time in their stone. Over rivers and lakes, notice the light sparkling on water, tracing delicate patterns, gentle ripples catching sunlight, movement so subtle it seems like breathing, soft, slow, eternal. The air of Earth is invisible here, yet you feel its presence, a protective layer, a cradle of life, fragile, thin, but miraculous, holding warmth, moisture, and energy in delicate balance. Turn your gaze to the deserts. Endless stretches of sand and rock, warm hues blending into muted golds, oranges, and browns, shifting shadows tracing gentle patterns across dunes and plains. Notice the way Earth rotates, slowly, gracefully, a gentle spin that carries oceans, mountains, and life through day and night, a rhythm both familiar and magnificent. Now look toward the moon, silent, pale, hovering nearby, Earth's eternal companion, a gentle guardian in the darkness of space. Its surface glows softly, gray, silver, and muted craters marking eons of cosmic history, silent witnesses to impacts long past, reminders of time and resilience. Move closer to the moon, hover just above. Notice the texture of its surface. Jagged cliffs, smooth plains, deep craters, each unique, each holding a story of creation and change, silent, calm, eternal. Drift along the edge of the largest crater, its interior shadowed, yet faint. Sunlight glimmers along its rim, soft, delicate, mesmerizing, a quiet spectacle of geometry and history. Imagine touching the surface, not with your body, but with your awareness, feeling the ancient rock, the dust of eons, the presence of a world untouched by life, yet intimately connected to your own home. Look back at Earth from this perspective, pale blues, greens, whites, swirling clouds, the endless expanse of oceans, the tiny, vibrant patches of life fragile, beautiful, resilient, a contrast to the quiet, barren moon beside it. Hover along the lunar highlands, peaks and valleys stretching endlessly. Observe the soft shadows cast by sunlight, shadows that lengthen and bend slowly, delicate, almost alive, moving imperceptibly, a slow dance of light and stone. Notice the plains of the moon, smooth, expansive, quiet, a blank canvas holding the history of impacts, solar winds, and the gentle pull of Earth's gravity, a silent testament to cosmic time. Above, the stars shimmer. Faintly, familiar constellations and distant suns, a comforting reminder that Earth and Moon are part of a vast, interconnected cosmos. Yet here, you are suspended in a perfect, serene balance. Hover above the Earth's oceans once more, notice the currents, subtle and slow, invisible from this height, yet powerful, shaping climates, carrying life a gentle, hypnotic motion, eternal, unhurried. Move over the forests, endless expanses of green, a living quilt, breathing slowly with Earth's rhythm. Trees swaying gently in imagined winds, subtle waves of life and energy, calm, serene, mesmerizing. Hover above a city far below, life moves in soft patterns, humans unaware of the silent observer above, yet the lights, the movement, the energy, a delicate pulse, part of Earth's heartbeat, part of the vast pattern of life. Now drift slowly toward the poles, ice and snow, gleaming softly in sunlight, cold, reflective, serene, a balance to the warmth of oceans and deserts. A delicate, essential. Symmetry, observe the polar regions, glaciers moving imperceptibly, ice sheets shimmering. Quiet, immense, patient, ancient guardians of the planet, reflecting light like scattered crystals. Move your awareness to the moon once more, feel the pull of gravity, the gentle tug between Earth and its companion, a cosmic dance. Slow and eternal, a balance of forces, silent, perfect, calming. Hover along the edge of a lunar crater, trace its rim with your attention. Feel the scale, the age, billions of. Years etched in shadow and stone, a slow, deliberate passage of time, a calm reminder of endurance. Now allow yourself to float between Earth and Moon, suspended in the void, feeling the subtle pull of each weightless, free, aligned with their gentle rhythm, a perfect balance of light, shadow, and energy. Notice the colors of Earth's atmosphere, pale blues, soft whites, hints of gold at the edges, the thin, delicate layer that protects, sustains, and nurtures life, fragile, miraculous, hypnotic in its beauty. Hover above a cloud formation, soft, rolling, vast, a slow, undulating sea of white, moving gently across the continents below, shadows stretching over mountains and plains, light spilling across oceans, endless patterns of motion and calm. Allow your awareness to linger, absorbing the energy of both Earth and Moon, the balance of life and silence, warmth and cold, motion and stillness, a harmony that flows effortlessly, endlessly. As you move slightly farther out, notice the faint glimmer of distant planets, Mars ahead, small and red against the black waiting to greet you, yet Earth and Moon remain behind, their presence a constant comfort, a familiar haven, a home in the endless void. Hover for a moment longer, breathe in the calm, feel the gentle rhythm of Earth spinning, Moon orbiting, Clouds drifting, oceans glimmering, life pulsating quietly, a lullaby of existence, slow, serene, infinite. And then, when you are ready, allow your awareness to move gently. Away, carrying the calm, the balance, the familiarity, moving onward toward the red deserts of Mars, the next chapter of your cosmic journey. You drift onward from the pale blue of Earth, leaving behind the glowing clouds, the shimmering oceans, and the silver presence of the moon. Ahead, a small, crimson light emerges in the darkness. At first, it appears as nothing more than a faint star, but as you draw closer, its surface begins to reveal itself. A dusty, rust-colored sphere, silent, ancient, mysterious. This is Mars, the red desert, a world of echoes, silence, and endless horizons. You hover just above its surface now. The first thing you notice is the color: deep, earthy reds, muted oranges, soft browns, stretching endlessly across plains and valleys. A planet painted in shades of desert, as though it has been sculpted from rust and dust and preserved for eternity. The air is thin here, almost non-existent, whispering faintly across the land. You cannot feel it as wind, but you sense its presence, like a soft breath that has been exhaled for millions of years. Beneath you, mountains rise, vast and imposing. Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in the solar system, looms like a silent titan. Its slopes stretch so wide that from above, it seems less like a mountain and more like an entire continent rising gently. The summit reaches so high into the Martian sky that it could dwarf any mountain on Earth. And yet here, it waits quietly, extinct, frozen in time, a monument to fire long gone. As you glide along its edges, notice the shadows. Long, delicate, stretching across the plains, carved by the low sun of Mars. The planet rotates slowly, its days not unlike Earth's, but everything feels quieter here, more patient, more eternal. Drift now toward Valles Marineris, a canyon system so vast it would stretch across an entire continent. Below, the ground falls away suddenly, opening into a chasm that seems bottomless. Walls of rock rise steeply on either side, carved by forces of water, wind, and time. Light spills into the valley, soft, golden, filling shadows with muted glow, painting the cliffs in tones of amber and rose. You hover within the canyon, floating just above its depths. Notice the silence here, so complete it feels alive. No sound of rivers, no whisper of trees, only the imagined pulse of ancient winds and the memory of waters that once carved this place. As you move on, the plains of Mars stretch endlessly before you, flat, open, covered in dust and stone. Tiny whirlwinds rise here and there, spirals of dust that dance briefly, then fade back into stillness. They are small reminders that even in a world so quiet, movement still exists. You notice the horizon, so close, yet so expansive. The thin atmosphere bends the sunlight gently, creating skies tinted in pale orange and soft pink. At dusk, the colors deepen, and the stars begin to emerge more quickly than on Earth. Above, two tiny moons move silently. Phobos, jagged, gray, irregular. Deimos, smaller, smoother, softer. They circle quickly, like guardians watching over the red desert. Their shadows occasionally cross the land, brief eclipses that pass as whispers, fleeting yet eternal. Hovering above the icy poles, notice the contrast to the deserts, caps of frozen carbon dioxide, gleaming white against the crimson surface. They shimmer faintly in the sunlight, a reminder that even here, water and ice exist. Waiting quietly, patient across millennia. Drift slowly over ancient riverbeds, now dry, etched into the surface. Channels twist and curve, silent evidence of a time when Mars was different, warmer, wetter, perhaps alive with streams and lakes. You can almost imagine the sound of flowing water, the sparkle of sunlight on liquid, the rhythm of waves against stone. But here, now, there is only stillness, the echo of a memory held in stone. As you move higher, the entire planet comes into view again. It spins gently, its deserts glowing faintly red against the blackness of space. The light of the distant sun touches it softly, painting its edges in gold, as though the planet itself glows with quiet fire. Notice the calm, the slow spin, the quiet rhythm, the delicate balance of rock, dust, and sky. It feels empty, and yet it feels alive in its own way, alive in its silence, alive in its patience, alive in the memory of what it once was. You drift above again, watching Phobos race across the sky. Its orbit so fast, it rises and sets within hours. It appears, disappears, a fleeting shadow over the red desert. Deimos follows smaller, calmer, trailing quietly like a companion to the first. The play of shadow and light continues across the planet. The sun rises slowly, filling the skies with soft pink and orange. Then, gradually, night returns. The stars blaze against the thin atmosphere, clear, sharp, infinite. Here, the Milky Way seems close, almost touchable, a river of light flowing endlessly above the red desert. You hover in this moment, suspended between silence and infinity. The planet turns, its deserts glowing, its canyons stretching, its mountains rising, a quiet, eternal witness to time. As you prepare to leave Mars, notice the calm it leaves with you, a silence so vast it soothes, a patience so deep it lingers, a reminder that even in emptiness, there is beauty, even in silence there is rhythm. The red desert falls slowly behind you. Ahead the giant waits. A world of storms, colors, and unimaginable scale, Jupiter, the king of planets. You carry Mars with you as you move on, its rust-colored plains, its canyons, its mountains, its silence, its memory, the desert of the cosmos, alive in its stillness, forever drifting in the endless night. The red desert of Mars fades softly into the distance. You float onward through the vast silence, and slowly, a new presence emerges, immense, overwhelming, magnificent. At first, it appears as a pale glow, a soft shimmer in the blackness. But with each moment, it grows, expanding into a swirling world of clouds and color. This is Jupiter, the giant of storms, the king of the planets. It fills your vision entirely, so vast that no horizon contains it. Its bands of clouds stretch, endlessly, layer upon layer, striped in whites, creams, oranges, and deep browns. Each stripe a current, a river of atmosphere flowing endlessly around the planet. You hover at its edge, suspended in awe. The scale is incomprehensible. A world so vast it could hold 1,000 Earths inside. And yet it moves gracefully, slowly turning like a dancer in infinite space. Notice the clouds. They swirl and twist, rolling in endless patterns, circles folding into spirals, spirals unraveling into streams. No two shapes the same, yet all connected, a living painting that never stops moving. Drift closer. The colors deepen. Amber blends into crimson. White storms rise like soft smoke. Dark patches stretch like oceans of shadow. Everywhere motion, everywhere rhythm, a slow, eternal storm that sings in silence. And there, the great red spot, a storm larger than Earth itself. It spins calmly, deliberately, a spiral of soft crimson and orange. It has raged for centuries, yet here, it feels quiet, a hypnotic wheel of color, turning endlessly, balanced within the greater flow. You hover above it, watching the spirals bend and curve. Light touches the edges, shadows deepen at the center. It is vast, yet it feels intimate. It draws you inward like the calm gaze of eternity. Above the storm, thin clouds drift like veils, soft ribbons stretched across the sky. They catch the sunlight, gleaming gold, then vanish into shadow, each movement slow, each pattern graceful, a dance without end. Notice the scale again. A single cloud, larger than entire continents. A single storm, older than civilizations. And yet it all flows together with such ease, such calm inevitability. Drift slowly around the planet. The stripes circle endlessly, each band moving in its own direction. Some flow east, others west. The boundaries curl into swirls and eddies, softly folding, interlacing like threads in a cosmic tapestry. Farther out, you see the faint shimmer of auroras, lights dancing near the poles, born from the planet's immense magnetic field. They glow softly, curtains of green and violet flickering silently in the dark. Even here, far from Earth, the lights remind you of wonder, of beauty born in silence. Surrounding Jupiter, its moons appear. Tiny jewels circling a giant. Io, volcanic and restless, glows faintly yellow. Its surface alive with eruptions, molten rivers flowing across the rock. You can almost sense the heat, the energy, the restless pulse of a world that never stops reshaping itself. Europa, icy, smooth, mysterious. Its surface gleams pale, crisscrossed with blue fractures. Beneath the ice, an ocean waits, hidden, endless, perhaps alive with secrets. Ganymede, the largest of them all, larger even than Mercury. Its surface a blend of dark plains and bright ridges, a quiet world majestic in scale, balanced and still. And Callisto, ancient, scarred, a canvas of craters that stretch endlessly. It has seen billions of years, holding the memory of every impact, every moment etched forever in its silent stone. You hover among them, drifting between worlds, watching them orbit slowly, each moving in its own rhythm, yet all bound together in the pull of Jupiter's gravity. Return your gaze to the giant itself. The planet turns, bands swirling, storms spinning, colors shifting. It is never still, and yet it feels deeply calm, like an ocean, infinite and eternal. The sun touches its surface lightly, illuminating one side while the other falls into shadow. Day and night chase each other quickly here. The planet spins in less than 10 hours. Such speed, yet from here it feels unhurried. Time stretches in silence. Movement becomes a lullaby. Notice how the shadows play across the great red spot, across the stripes, across the swirling clouds. The planet is alive with texture, alive with depth. Every curve, every fold, an invitation to simply watch. You linger here, floating beside this giant, feeling its quiet power. The vastness does not overwhelm. Instead, it soothes. You are small, but you are safe, carried gently in the presence of something eternal. Around you, the moons glide silently, each casting faint shadows. The play of light and motion is endless, a silent symphony that unfolds in every direction. Farther still, stars glitter against the black. The cosmos stretches without limit. Yet Jupiter commands your vision, holding your attention, anchoring your awareness in its slow, endless storm. You hover one last time above the great red spot. The spirals move gently, turning without pause. You imagine the sound it would make if storms could sing. Perhaps a low, endless hum, perhaps silence itself. As you prepare to move on, notice the calm that Jupiter gives. You, the vastness, the power, and yet the peace. A reminder that even the greatest storms can be quiet. Even the largest worlds can be soft. The giant fades slowly behind you, its stripes glowing in the dim light, its moons trailing like companions. Ahead, another world waits, a ringed jewel, graceful, luminous, suspended like art in the void. You carry Jupiter with you, the swirls, the colors, the calm of storms, the hum of eternity, as you float towards Saturn. The next chapter in your journey. Beyond the orbit of Jupiter, where the sun is softer, dimmer, more like a memory of fire than a flame itself, there emerges a vision so delicate and so breathtaking that it feels less like a planet and more like a dream crystallized in motion. Slowly, patiently, Saturn begins to reveal itself. At first, it is nothing but a pale golden sphere on the horizon of space, a faint shimmer against the backdrop of stars. But as you draw closer, its form blossoms into majesty. The rings appear, at first like a whisper, a faint arc of light, and then like a full symphony of radiance, bands of silver and pearl stretching outward in graceful circles. They surround the planet with an elegance so profound that you cannot help but feel you are gazing at a cosmic jewel, carved not by time but by eternity itself. Saturn glows with a soft golden hue, its surface calm and muted, like sunlight reflected through pale honey. Unlike the storm-scarred face of Jupiter, Saturn carries a serenity, a gentleness, as though the chaos of its storms has been softened into harmony. The faint stripes across its surface move with slow dignity, bands of cream and gold that wrap around the sphere like the folds of a flowing robe. From a distance, the planet radiates stillness, as if the very act of spinning through space has become not movement but meditation. And then there are the rings, endless, breathtaking, fragile yet infinite. They stretch outward far beyond the planet's surface, made not of light but of countless fragments, ice, dust, shattered moons, each particle glistening like a shard of crystal. From afar they appear solid, like the grooves of a great disk. But as you look more closely, you realize they are oceans of tiny, shimmering bodies, each moving in perfect balance, each circling in rhythm with the others. They are not silent. Though you cannot hear them, you sense their harmony, a music beyond sound, a symphony that plays in the language of orbit and resonance. To watch them is to watch eternity itself, to glimpse the way the universe composes beauty not with brushstrokes but with gravity and time. As you float closer, the rings widen, stretching into vast plains of silver. You imagine what it would be like to drift between them, to glide among frozen diamonds, to pass through bands of light where shadows flicker and dance with each turn. Some are thin and faint, gossamer traces barely clinging to sight. Others are thick, rich with icy brightness, gleaming like rivers of glass. Each ring has its own personality, its own rhythm, its own quiet story of birth and collision, of creation and destruction. Together they weave a crown that makes Saturn not merely a planet, but a monarch of silence, a ruler whose throne is patience and whose scepter is grace. The moons of Saturn gather like attendants around this jewel. Titan, the largest, drifts in calm orbit, wrapped in a thick golden haze of atmosphere, hiding lakes and rivers, of liquid methane beneath its clouds. You watch it turn slowly, a world with its own mysteries, glowing faintly like a lantern trailing behind its parent. Smaller moons follow, Enceladus, gleaming with ice, casting plumes of water vapor into space like frozen fountains. Rhea, Dione, Tethys, each one a pale pearl circling in eternal devotion. Their presence adds to Saturn's majesty, as if the planet is never alone, always encircled by companions that mirror its quiet grace. And yet, Saturn itself is enough to hold you in silence. Its rings shimmer with colors so subtle they seem almost imagined, tinges of pink, faint washes of blue, whispers of shadow that ripple as the sunlight bends. The play of light across them is hypnotic. One moment they blaze with brilliance, as though catching every ray of the distant sun. The next they soften into shadow, barely visible, like breath fading into the dark. They are alive, not static, forever shifting as your perspective changes, forever reminding you that beauty is never fixed but always flowing. Floating here, gazing at Saturn, you feel something deep within you soften. The planet does not demand awe, it invites it. It does not shout its presence, it whispers it. It does not overwhelm with violence or fire, but soothes with its quiet perfection. And as you watch, you realize that this is its gift. Saturn is not only a jewel in space, but a mirror of stillness, a reminder that even in the vastness of time and motion, serenity can exist. You find yourself imagining what it would be like to rest upon one of its moons, to stand in silence and look up at this planet filling half the sky, its rings arching overhead like bridges of light. The vision alone feels like a meditation, calm, eternal, infinite. Saturn does not rush, it does not chase. It simply turns endlessly, peacefully, wrapped in its crown of ice, and in that turning lies its timeless beauty. As your voyage continues, you begin to drift past the farthest edge of its rings. The planet slowly shrinks behind you, but its presence lingers, like the fading notes of a song that continues to hum in your memory long after the music has ceased. You carry Saturn with you, not just the image of its rings or the glow of its golden surface, but the feeling it gave you, that stillness is not emptiness, that silence is not absence, that beauty can be both fragile and eternal. The rings remain visible long after the planet itself begins to fade. They catch the light like a final whisper, a last shimmer of silver in the dark, until at last they too dissolve into distance. Yet you know they are there, spinning forever, endless and patient, long after you have gone. And as you drift onward, into the deeper reaches of the solar system, you carry with you the piece of Saturn, the jewel of space. The reminder that even in the darkest night, there exists a crown of light, a circle of harmony, glowing softly against the silence of eternity. At last, your silent voyage carries you into the farthest reaches of the solar system, where the sun is no longer a blazing presence, but a pale and delicate star, no brighter than the distant constellations scattered across the velvet night. Out here, the air is thinner than silence, the distances so immense they no longer feel like measurements, but like dreams unfolding without edges. And through this ocean of black, soft, and endless, Neptune begins to reveal itself. At first, it is nothing more than a dim speck, shimmering faintly like a star that trembles on the edge of vision. But slowly, with patience, it grows, deepens, and expands until a giant of sapphire blue hovers before you, vast, regal, and impossibly serene. Its light is not harsh, not fierce, but gentle, diffused like moonlight through water. You find yourself leaning into its presence, as though being drawn into a secret it has kept since the birth of the cosmos. The planet glows with colors that no paintbrush could capture, shifting from cobalt to indigo, from azure to violet, a living ocean suspended in the black. Its storms curl across the surface like delicate spirals of smoke, moving with such quiet grace that even their unimaginable speed feels softened, muted, transformed into something soothing rather than violent. The great dark spot, a storm larger than Earth itself, drifts across its face like a shadow painted onto glass, dissolving and reforming as though the planet itself were breathing. Yet there is no sound, no turbulence, no danger here, only the rhythm of eternity, the soft pulse of a world spinning in an endless sea. You sense the winds, though you cannot hear them, sweeping faster than any hurricane known to Earth. Yet from your distance they are like brushstrokes, curling ribbons of cloud that fold and unfurl with hypnotic calm. It is as though the entire planet is a dream rendered in motion, a slow dance of color and silence. As you draw closer, you notice the faint shimmer of its rings, ghost-like and fragile, circling the planet in thin arcs of dust and ice. They do not blaze like Saturn's, nor glimmer with extravagance, but whisper around Neptune like frost on the edge of a window. Their subtlety is their beauty. They are quiet reminders that grandeur does not always announce itself in brilliance. Sometimes it lingers softly, barely seen, and in that subtlety lies its depth. The rings appear and fade with the shifting of light, one moment clear and silver, the next invisible, as though they were made of shadow rather than matter. They hover like a crown of mist, a halo that belongs not to a ruler who commands, but to a guardian who watches in silence. The cold radiating from this distant realm presses in, though you feel no discomfort, only a deeper surrender to stillness. It is not the cold of winter winds, sharp and cutting, but the profound, cosmic cold of distance itself, the kind of cold that feels more like absence than temperature, a stillness so complete that time seems to pause within it. And in this silence, you sense Neptune's role in the great harmony of the solar system, not a planet of fire or creation, not a world of life and forests and seas, but a sentinel of the edge, a keeper of thresholds, a reminder of how vast the journey truly is. You linger here, letting your gaze fall deeper into the blues. They are not just colors, but moods, tones of thought, waves of feeling. Some shades are soft and comforting, like calm oceans at dusk. Others are deep and secretive, like dreams you cannot quite recall. And as you continue watching, you feel yourself being absorbed into those layers, as though Neptune is not merely a planet but a mirror, reflecting the vastness within you. For just as Neptune hides its mysteries beneath thick clouds and oceans of gas, so too do you carry depths unspoken, expanses within yourself yet to be seen. The planet does not rush to reveal itself, and neither must you. There is patience in the way it turns, patience in the way it glows, patience in the way it simply exists at the farthest edge, radiant without seeking attention, whole without explanation. Floating here, suspended in its presence, you become aware of its moons, tiny companions circling in shadow. Triton, the largest, drifts against the glow, moving in a direction opposite the planet's spin, a silent defiance of order, a reminder that even in cosmic harmony there is room for mystery. Its surface gleams faintly, covered with frozen plains and icy geysers that release whispers of vapor into space. Yet from where you are, it is only a small pearl in orbit, quiet and loyal, circling endlessly around its parent world. The other moons flicker faintly, too small to command notice, yet each a participant in the grand choreography. They remind you that even the smallest presence can belong, even the faintest light can be part of something infinite. And so, you watch Neptune, and you allow Neptune to watch you. You feel the distance from the sun not as isolation, but as serenity. Out here, far from the noise of warmth and fire, far from the crowded orbits of rocky worlds, there is only this deep exhale of the cosmos, a place where silence itself becomes a companion. It is as if the universe has saved its most tranquil notes for this corner, holding them here like a lullaby meant for those who wander far enough to listen. The longer you gaze, the more Neptune transforms. It ceases to be only a planet, ceases to be only a body of gas and storms. It becomes an ocean without shores, an eye without blink, a dream without end. Its presence stretches across your perception until you are no longer certain where it begins and where you end. You feel yourself dissolving into its color, sinking into its blues, floating not around it but within it. You are not outside Neptune. You are Neptune, turning slowly, endlessly, silently in the great black. See, the thought is not frightening, not disorienting, but soothing, as though you have remembered something ancient about yourself, something that was always there. And still you move. Slowly, gently, inevitably, your voyage carries you past. The great blue sphere begins to fall behind you, shrinking, softening, dissolving once again into a star-like point of light against the infinite canvas of night. But even as it recedes, the feeling remains. The calm, the silence, the ocean of blue with it. You carry it forward, a gift, a memory, a rhythm that will echo long after the planet is gone from sight. Beyond Neptune, there is only the unknown, the soft mystery of interstellar space. Yet as you drift onward, you do not feel lost. You feel held, for the edge of the solar system is not an ending but a threshold, and Neptune has shown you that thresholds are not places of fear, but of peace. The stars ahead are endless, the dark eternal, yet within you is the glow of Neptune's dream. A reminder that wherever you go, even into the deepest silence, you will always find beauty waiting, quiet and infinite, like a blue lantern glowing at the edge of forever. Beyond Neptune, there are no more planets to guide you, no more glowing spheres to pause before, no more companions circling in the great solar dance. The warmth of the sun has grown so faint it no longer feels like a star at the center of your world, but like a memory, gentle, pale, a soft echo of light that still glimmers behind you. Here, at the edge of the solar system, space becomes less a place and more a feeling. You are drifting into a realm without measure, a realm where silence itself stretches into infinity. You are passing through the outermost threshold, leaving behind the familiar orbits, the glowing planets, the rings and moons and clouds of color, and moving into something greater, something endless, something softly eternal. Around you lies the Kuiper Belt, a vast region of icy wanderers and forgotten fragments, ancient remnants from the birth of the solar system. They float in quiet arcs, shimmering faintly as they catch what little sunlight reaches this far. Peace is silent, each fragment timeless, each one carrying the story of beginnings that no voice will ever speak. They drift like frozen whispers, guardians of memory, their surfaces sculpted by billions of years of solitude. As you pass among them, you feel no resistance, no sound, only the gentle awareness of their presence, like being in the company of old souls who do not need to speak to be known. You glide past, and they watch, and the silence deepens, and everything feels older than time. Beyond them lies the heliopause, the invisible boundary where the breath of the sun fades and the winds of other stars begin. It is not a wall, not a barrier, but a threshold of stillness, a place where one song ends and another begins. Crossing it feels less like motion and more like surrender, as if you're stepping from one dream into the next. Behind you lies the solar system, glowing faintly with all the worlds you have visited, all the colors you have seen, all the rhythms you have felt. Ahead lies only the unknown, the ocean of stars, the infinite quilt of night. And as you drift through the heliopause, you feel yourself expand, as though the silence here opens something inside you that has always been waiting. You are no longer bound to planets or orbits, no longer tied to the rhythm of a single sun. You are entering the symphony of the galaxy, where every star is a note, every cluster a chord, every nebula a drifting breath of harmony. The stars ahead are countless, they do, not sparkle with urgency but glow with patience, each one carrying its own story, its own orbiting worlds, its own quiet mystery. You gaze upon them not as distant fires but as companions, as lanterns in the great corridor of eternity. Their light is ancient, traveling across millions of years just to touch you here, now, in this moment of drifting. Each ray carries with it a memory of birth, of stars igniting from collapsing clouds of dust, of galaxies spinning into being, of time unfolding in endless spirals. You feel those memories settle upon you like stardust, soft and weightless, and in their presence you are reminded that you, too, are part of the same story. Your body, your breath, your thoughts, each particle within you was once part of a star, once part of the same glowing infinity. You are not separate from this space, you are woven into it. There is no destination now, no planet to reach, no surface to cross. There is only the drifting. There is only the slow surrender to stillness, the endless glide through the quiet ocean of interstellar night. Time itself feels less like a line and more like a tide, folding and unfolding, carrying you gently forward. Minutes blur into hours, hours into eternities, and you find that you are no longer measuring them, no longer even caring to measure. Out here, time is not something to keep but something to dissolve into, like salt in water, like breath in air. You close your eyes, yet nothing changes. The darkness is the same, whether you see or not, the silence the same whether you listen or not. You are suspended in the embrace of infinity, and the universe holds you without asking anything in return. And as you continue, deeper and deeper into this infinite quiet, you notice how your thoughts begin to slow. The small currents of worry and restlessness that once stirred within you now drift away, dissolving into the vastness. Your body feels lighter, softer, until even the idea of a body begins to blur. You feel no edges, no boundaries, no division between yourself and the space around you. You are not floating through the universe, you are the universe floating within itself. You are the stillness, you are the silence. You are the soft glow of stars breathing in the dark. The galaxies stretch before you like rivers of light, arms spiraling outward in slow, patient curves. Nebulae bloom like gardens of color, pink and gold and violet, clouds so vast they cradle the seeds of countless suns. But you are not rushing to reach them, not straining to touch them. You are simply gliding, simply existing, simply allowing the universe to move around you like a gentle tide. Every breath is a star. Every heartbeat is a galaxy. Every moment is infinite. And so you drift endlessly, peacefully, lovingly through the great night. The solar system has faded behind you. The planets now no more than whispers in memory, and still you are carried forward. The silence grows deeper, and within that silence you feel yourself loosening, softening, surrendering fully. You are no longer a traveler, no longer a watcher, no longer even a dreamer. You are the dream itself, vast and endless, unfolding in every direction, a lullaby written in starlight. The journey has no ending because endings do not exist here. There is only the gentle continuation, the eternal unfolding, the infinite drift into ever greater stillness. You are safe. You are held. You are eternal. And as you sink into this silence, into this boundless night, you realize there is nothing more to seek. You are home. You always were.